Hey guys, welcome to another one of my shoutcasts or casts, and tonight we're going to be having two diamond players from our Clandroid right here, duking it out on what map is this? Kula's Ravine?
Lost Temple.
Okay, Lost Temple. I'm sorry, I was much too long away. And with me tonight is going to be Archay and Dazzlefeet.
Yep.
Okay, so we see the pink Zerg player Archay spawning on the 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock position here on this map on Lost Temple, and RiO, which is also diamond player from our clan, he's spawning at the 2 o'clock positions. Now I just know that both of these guys are good. Actually, RiO is most of the time online and you know, training with other diamonds. And Dazzle, what can you say about your fellow clanmates here?
Well, I know that RiO is starting off here with some fast expand build, as you will see in a sec. At least I think, with the force coming. Yeah, Archay is just droning up.
Okay, so at this point we see a build that is doable on this map at least. I'm not sure if this spawning position for RiO is the best one. I'm guessing that if you spawn, well, I think it's the same thing. I think the map is symmetrical. But anyway, RiO is doing this fast expo with a forge opener, while Archay is deciding to go for a spawning pool at 14, followed maybe by a hatchery. Archay, you'd care to tell us a bit of your strategy right here?
Yes, exactly. As Fadia, our most famous Zerg right now at the US servers, suggests, he most of the time opens with a pool first. And since I had no idea what he's going after right now, I also assumed that if I want to avoid any cheeses or rush tactics like that, I should open safely with a pool and expand later. Also, I saw a forge, so I pretty much expected it was either a cannon rush or a fast expand into Stargate, which is quite common. So yeah, that was my first thoughts which came into my mind when I saw his forge and so on.
Okay, so obviously I can see this overlord, this third overlord of yours, going to the edge right here, looking to see if there's any cannons or pylons down there. Your second overlord was going to your natural expansion to, you know, keep an eye out there, and you actually moved your first overlord all the way to this uphill next to his expansion. So at this point he's just getting his first simulator, RiO, that is. If we look at the economy, we see he is 21 over your 19 harvesters, so a bit ahead right there. And production wise, he just got one zealot and the second gateway, looking to wall off his entrance right here. A bit of a crazy wall off, because he could have went a bit more to the left on this edge right here, and he could have made a smaller wall in, but we'll just have to wait and see. And Dazzle, what do you think about the game until now?
Yeah, it's going pretty standard right now. They're both doing good, not slacking. But yeah, Archay, what do you think about that you're in cross positions?
Yeah, actually, as a Zerg, to have a longer game is like my top priority, because that's where my and Zerg in general strong side lies. Also, I a bit overreact since I started making spine crawlers and such, and you will see that in a moment that even that I have my fast expansion, we will be at quite the same food in the first 10-12 minutes. So yeah.
Yes, well, at this point you were just getting some, you're just droning up. If we look at the production tab, that's clear. You're making like 4 drones and your lair, while he was actually summoning or getting some, warping in some stalkers. So at this point he was going double gas in his main. Economy wise, you are now ahead, especially because of the fact that you had your expo down already, and it is clearly more difficult for a Protoss player to actually finish a wall in and then start the Nexus, which costs some extra minerals, of course, while you were comfortably just making a Spore Crawler, a Spine Crawler, just droning up. So I'm guessing, yes, this was kind of a nice game. And you got the layer, and afterwards you went for a Hydralisk then right away. So I'm not sure if I'm following your strategy right there, because you didn't know exactly what he was going. I didn't see any overlords get sacrificed or anything. But maybe this will pay off in the near future. What do you think, Dazzle?
Well, I think Hydras are a safe tech because you're pretty much defended against gateway units and air units and early robo units like the Immortal. Only the Colossus is the bitch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, Archie, what are you thinking about Colossi? You're just getting now your first Overseer, as I see it.
Yes, exactly. Since I saw the Forge first, I assumed, especially on Lost Temple, it's very common to see a Forge into fast expand into a Stargate, which usually means there will be Phoenixes. That's why I placed my Spore Crawlers in my mineral lines. And actually, RiO didn't even went for Stargates, so I was kind of lost. I had like no idea what he's doing right now. And I pretty much knew that if I go Hydralisks, I will be pretty safe, and I'm sure RiO didn't even saw my natural. He has like no idea what I'm going right now, so I feel quite safe at this point against anything he can throw at me at this moment. So yeah.
Okay, man. Now, so what I'm seeing from you're now scouting his 4 gates, and you probably know of the 2 ones at the entrance of his expo. So at this point, you probably know the fact that he's going a 6 gate build. But it's not a common 6 gate build, because he's not looking to be aggressive. He's not looking to push out with it. Because I've just looked at this specific build on one of Day 9's dailies, and the guy, I think it was OGS MC or something like that.
Okay, yeah, that can be.
Exactly. And he was doing the exact same build, and just as the level 1 attack for his infantry was finishing, he was almost in the base of his enemy.
Yeah.
Well, that did work, but in this case, I think RiO is a bit lost, and he just got double the assimilators in his expo as well, which he clearly not needed, and he has a load of sentries, which are maybe too many. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I like sentries. They're pretty good.
Well, Dazzle, please explain a bit more on the strategy of using sentries against a Zerg.
Well, on Lost Temple, it's really good to have sentries to block his army to kill his expo. And since he built extra assimilators, he's probably going for some more tech instead of ending the game now. He's not going all in.
Well, at this point I'm looking at his production tab, and besides, he lost the battle, clearly. I mean, looking at the units lost count, he lost almost 1,000 worth of resources worth of units more than Archay did. And at this point I see that he's backing off, and while the battle was lasting, he didn't actually get anything, and he just now, like 10 seconds afterwards, started the Twilight Council. So at this point I think he was pretty much lost. He knew that the fast expo into 6 gate failed, and I'm thinking that I didn't like the positioning of his sentries and the fact that he attacked overlords instead of going for those hydras. But also a major impact that that had an event that had a major impact on the battle was the fact that Archay had just he just had like 6 or 8 hydras come out of those little legs exactly before, seconds before RiO was at his doorstep. So at this point I think you probably felt pretty good, Archay.
Yeah, the actual mistake which RiO did was his force field. He placed his force fields in a very bad position, so his zealots were walled off while my hydras were hiding behind the actual force fields. So I was able to kill the zealots since he kind of almost directly counters hydras in an early game if they can get in range. So that's pretty much what cost RiO the lost early engagement in the first place. Now, as you can see, I got my third. I also went for Spire because I pretty much knew that if I continue this, he will start making Colossus, and Colossus just kills Hydralisks. So that was my plan at this stage. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, at this point, I see that you've got your third. You've got 7 Mutalisks to do a bit of a harassment and gain a bit of a map control, which is pretty nice. It's nice to have. And you are right. Those force fields were not properly used. I mean, he used 2 lines of force fields trying to split up your army, but obviously the first line that he used was a total fail, and then he got greedy and set up the second line behind it, and that is why your zealots, his zealots, got caught out of positioning. So at this point, I see that he's going for ground weapons level 2. He's getting Blink, he's getting a Robo Bay. So at this point, he is clearly switching into Colossi. Dazzle, I think you can explain a bit how Colossi would help in this situation.
Well, I don't know. He started the tech when he didn't know about the Mutas, so now Spire is up. He can make some Corruptors if he wants, or more Mutas. And yeah, we'll see if he actually keeps on building the Colossi, because the Mutas do a decent amount of damage.
Yeah.
Killed some probes, killed some pylons.
Yeah. They killed 2 pylons and properly supply blocked RiO. So at this point, the 13 mutas that are out are doing quite a nice amount of damage, and I think Archay is looking to get his goal up.
Yeah, but Archay's RiO's just finished to get with Blink, so now you can defend a bit better against mutas.
Well, the amount of zealots that RiO has might prove to be a bit ineffective compared to the amount of stalkers, because I can see another 7 Mutalisks coming in from Archay, and he already has 17, so that will be a huge amount of Mutalisks to handle. Archay, we're looking to go into another battle. Can you please comment on this one?
This is actually not looking good for me, because he's fighting at my doorstep and he has like quite a few stalkers, which pretty much kill mules unless I have like 30 of them. So, well, right now I'm trying to like randomly engage his units, but I figured out my best bet would be attack his Colossus at this moment, so my Hydralisks, which are currently engaging zealots, won't die as fast. So, as you can see at this point, when I have my Hydras on the ground and Muras in the air supporting, he has like no way but go back to his home. So that was a successful defense on my part, I think.
Exactly. But I think you overcommitted a bit, and your Mutalisks followed all the way to his base. And also, I would like to check the minutes and the seconds where you guys are on. I'm on 1912 right now.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, 1920 coming. Yeah, okay, good. So basically you did a bit of you overcommitted with those Mutalisks, lost maybe a couple of more than you should have, and maybe also you should have waited for the Hydras to come in, and that way you would have lost maybe a smaller amount of Mutalisks in that exchange. But you are looking overall well, as he is almost up to 10,000 resources lost, and you're just at 7,400, 7,600 right now, as another Mutalisk goes down. Obviously, he's just getting everything in the book right now. He's getting
RiO build a Templar Archives.
Yeah.
To deal with mutas, but Archay's killing it right now. Would he get it? Yeah, he gets it.
Yeah, he got it. But sadly, he lost a couple of really important Mutalisks in that exchange as well. And I'm not sure if RiO managed to actually cancel the research before that happened. Well, at this point, Archay is sitting on 4 bases, free of the mining. His economy is 10 harvesters ahead, and production-wise, he's getting an infestation pit. So that's kind of a nice tech switch. And oh my goodness, 8 drones just waiting in the middle of the map. Archay, you naughty boy, you forgot about those drones.
Yeah, exactly. It happens. I was like so actually concerned with the initial Templar archives that I knew that I no longer can continue with my newest strat, because storms just pretty much kills Mutalisks. Even if it's like 33% of damage on my like 8 units, it's a huge loss for me. So as you can see right now, I'm trying to delay High Templars for as long as possible. That's why I will try to switch into Mass Roach at this moment. So that's also get into the tier 3. That's why I built the infestation pit. Yeah, that's where it is. And I'm getting Burrow right now, so we should see how it works out eventually.
Okay, so at this point you are going for Tunneling Claws and Burrow and level missile attacks level 2 for your ground units. Obviously you were taking towards roaches, and you managed to take out the Templar archives twice in this game while it was researching. And right now you took out a gateway, which might have helped. I'm not sure about that one. Dazzle, what's your opinion on how things are going on at this moment on the map?
Yeah, I think since RiO lost the first engagement, Archay is pretty much in control of what's happening, and he does a perfect job in adapting to what RiO is doing. So yeah, it's looking good for Archay.
Yeah,
but
well,
RiO is keeping up.
Obviously, the map control that Archay has is quite interesting, but okay, a nice engagement right here, nice force fields going down, and Archay fails to back out of that engagement right there, which was clearly not in his favor. I'm not sure what he was actually thinking, and his army is dwindling down pretty darn fast. And at this point, so yes, at this point RiO actually caught up, and a lot of nice microing, blinking away stalkers that had lower health. So at this point, Archay is actually 150 resources behind in units lost, which is not a big deal, but obviously RiO made quite a comeback, I have to say. And the the positioning was not good at all in this center. Please, Dazzle, go ahead.
Yeah, RiO kinda slacked on keeping up the macro while he was attacking, but Archay did. So Archay has a full army again. He's almost maxed out. It's 160. So yeah, he's ahead. Roach is coming in.
Yeah, roaches from Archay.
That's nice with the Templars.
Roaches from Archay doing a lot of damage. That was pretty nice. That was a pretty nice move. And I'm actually curious of the fact that RiO had no observers covering his army. It must have felt good to see all those roaches do a lot of damage. The Archay.
Yes, exactly, because I knew I can't continue with my Mutalisks, and roaches were like my only hope. And if that Burrow had failed, I probably would have lost the game, or at least I had a hard time dealing with his army at this point. Because when my roaches unburrowed, they also killed kinda all of his High Templars, and he was unable to storm, since the storm would have hit his own units as well. Yeah. So that kinda was a huge win for me in that position, so I was able to retain my control over this map. So I feel quite safe right now at this point, and I'm switching to Hydralism right now. So yeah, since I noticed he's not going to Colossus, he doesn't even have the range upgraded, and he's sticking to a Stalker Zealot High Templar. So I think this switch was quite decent on my part.
Yes, obviously you did the right switches right there, and just as the Caldarian Amulet, or how is it called, ends, RiO actually morphs in, or warps in a lot of more Stalkers, which was kind of a mistake on his part. as clearly getting some High Templars with that amulet would have helped him immensely in this situation. Oh, and 7 Overlords getting caught off guard. This is going to set you back 700 minerals. Big mistake from you, Archay. Also, just 1 second. Just 1 second. I saw that you tech switched to Ultralisks, which are great because obviously Psionic Storms does the least amount of damage to those big fellas. But I still don't like the fact that you only have 1 creep tumor barely making it to the center of the map at the 28-minute mark into the game. So that is one thing that I do not like, and maybe you should improve on that in the near future.
Yes, exactly. I was kind of stressed out. It was quite intense battle with like engagements happening every few minutes. I was just barely able to keep my injects, which I also failed quite bad at this moment. And also you saw my like drones just chilling in the middle of the map doing nothing. And that's just how it goes. You get into the tunnel vision and you like forget the important things, and your game just starts to fall apart, and you're just trying to survive in general.
Okay, so we're looking at possibly one of the most interesting engagements out there. A lot of Hydras managing to survive with just 1 HP after those storms. That must have been really annoying to RiO. Dazzle, what do you think about this engagement right here?
Yeah, the Ultras really doing the job, cleaning up the mess.
Well, I'm actually going to say that it was a pretty fair exchange, considering the fact that the resources lost are now at 30,000 for both players. But those annoying Hydras just barely managing to survive with 1 HP, like 8 or 9 of them. Those did a lot of damage that otherwise couldn't have been possible. And you are still keeping the pressure on Archay. You're still making a lot of Zerglings and doing a lot of run-bys. This is actually what I like. Although I'm not sure if the amount of Zerglings lost covered the amount of probes from RiO.
Well, it might. So late in game.
Yeah, I had like so many minerals. I just had to spend them because I had like what 400 or 500 gas at this point. I'm just kind of broke, and I'm just trying to maintain whatever pressure I can. I know he is also mined out of his 3 bases, so taking out his probes is quite a necessary move at this point for me, or at least I think so. There's also a drop coming into my base right now.
Yeah, I was just looking at that warp prism right there, and I thought of myself a couple of nicely placed High Templars would do a lot of damage, but you are quick on your feet, and you got everything or your units out there quickly enough. And at this point, if we look at the army counts, it's 200, almost 200 for you, while RiO is just at a measly 113. Not nearly enough to counter this armored army, as both Roaches and Ultralisks are armored units. And I'm guessing that a big mistake that RiO actually did this whole game is the fact that he never considered building a single Void Ray, or I'm not sure.
Well, yeah. I think not. He ran both the attack path of the Templar Archives and the Colossus, so to go air as well is, yeah, kind of much.
Well, he clearly just now is building 1 Stargate, but that is not going to do macro versus there. But that's not going to save him the game. And as this game is looking pretty bad for him at this point, and you still haven't gotten your creep all the way to his base, which I don't like. But at this point, I might say that he tried going for Colossi early in the game, like at the 15-minute mark or 16-minute mark, and right now we're at the 34-minute mark. Maybe switching to some air units would have helped him a bit in the long run, because yeah, and there's a GG from RiO. So Dazzle, can you please submit to us a couple of your comments, a couple of your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that gave Archay this win is that he perfectly adapted to everything like a good Zerg can do, and Protoss can't tech switch that fast as Zerg, so that way he stayed ahead. Yeah, and eventually gave him this win. Pretty good game.
Of course, but we also have to we don't have to forget the fact that he macroed like a pro, and RiO also macroed like a kind of like a pro. I mean, he was able to keep up economy-wise with you all throughout the game, and clearly the thing that led to his defeat was the fact that you that Archay actually teched Ultralisks in the at the end of the game, and Ultralisks with roaches together, that just spells doom. So yeah, I think it was a pretty nice exchange, pretty nice game in my opinion. Archay, we'll let you have the last words on this commentary.
Yeah, it was quite a decent game, I think, since RiO is like 2,400 Protoss right now. Also, I was quite lucky to win this because there was like a few critical moments when he actually could have won the game, or at least put quite a pressure on me. That was like the first engagement with the force field, just because these failed and Zealots were caught out of the position. They were unable to fully engage my Hydralisks, so I was able to kill them in the first place. That was the first time when I actually got lucky. On the other hand, also the second part was when I was able to snipe his Templar archives twice. So I was able to buy enough to tech as well to the things which I wanted, like the Ultralisks, since I knew they have quite a lot of HP and they can tank quite some damage. Also, my Roach Burrow on top of his army was a big deal as well, since he was unable to storm his own army and win against me while I was around his units as well. So I caught him out of the position, and eventually these basic facts, I think that's what led me to the initial victory. Also, I should do a lot better with my creep spread and injects in general, also by keeping my macro, since I had like since I had like 66 drones during the whole game, and like 20 of them most of the time were just doing nothing since the bases were mined out and such.
Yes, well, obviously there's always something to improve on. For me, at least, the creep spreading is maybe the most important. And also, what I would like to comment on RiO's behalf about RiO's gameplay. You know, there's that saying, "Fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice, shame on me." The fact that he was forced to build the Templar archives 3 times. Clearly should have told him something. It should have told him that you're going, that his opponent knows what he's doing, and his opponent is probably adapting to that build, and he should just probably leave that fucking Templar archives alone and just go for something else, like maybe Stargates. So at that point, maybe his game sense should have told him to go for Stargates. That is actually what I'm. Just a personal feeling about this whole engagement. Okay, so Dazzle, Archay, thank you for joining me in this cast. Archay, thanks for the lovely game that you have provided. And to everybody out there watching and listening, thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And me and the guys will get off now. So bye-bye.
See you later.
Yeah, later.